ਸਾਂਝਾ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਸਰੋਤਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਸੁਪਨੀਤ ਕੌਰ ਗਿੱਲ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਅੱਜ ਇੱਕ ਖਾਸ ਮੌਕੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਅੱਜ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹੋਏ ਆ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਆਹ ਸਾਈਨ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਵਾਰਨ ਹੈਮ, ਬਿਲਡਰਸ ਨਾਟ ਬਿਊਰੋਕਰੈਟਸ। ਜੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਵਾਰਨ ਹੈਮ ਦੀ, ਹੀ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਫॉर BC ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵਸ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ। ਜੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਤਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪਾਉਣੀ ਆ ਉਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਵੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਕੀ ਇਹ ਬਦਲਾਅ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ BC ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਿਹੜੇ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਮੰਗ ਹੋਈ ਆ, ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਅੱਜ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਇਸ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਤੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹੋਏ ਹੋਰ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਦੱਸਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ। ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ। Hello everyone, Warren Hamm with us, who is the candidate for BC Leadership Conservatives Party. Let's have a talk with him. Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm great, thanks. I'm glad you made it out to the event. It was, very successful. Great to see everybody out.
For sure, Sanjha TV is always with you. And what were the important announcements today, and what were the views from your side and BC Conservatives today?
I think, in this leadership race, we need to differentiate ourselves because there's I think 6 of us left in the race. And I'm a leader that comes from the business community. I'm a builder, not a bureaucrat.
Sure.
And I'm a leader. And so what we need is someone that understands not only what the issues are, but how we're going to solve them. And so someone that comes from, with a maintenance background and with a building background, that's the type of person we need. We don't need someone that's just a recycled politician or an academic to solve these problems that were created by academics and politicians in the first place. If you want real change, you need to make a change.
Definitely, that's true what you said. And what were the major highlights of today's evening? If you just talk about, there were people from Vancouver, there were people from all around the cities. What are your views on that?
Well, the big one is the property transfer tax. And what's super important is that we get rid of the property transfer tax for families that are trying to hand properties down to their kids or grandkids, the second, third homes. Many families, especially in the lower mainland, but certainly in the interior, work all their lives to put homes together, build equity so they can hand it down to their kids. And the government needs to stay out of their pockets when they do this and not reach in and just take taxation for the sake of taking taxation.
This is the major point. If we just talk about, we usually talk to the people around the cities. The most important one is the housing. It's way too hard. And the second thing, mostly you highlighted about the nurses and the doctors. I would like to highlight that one as well.
Yeah, nurses and doctors. So I've had a few people give me the advice on it, and I've got to verify the number, but they're saying there's 400 to 450 doctors alone, not nurses. I don't know how many nurses are already in the province and have the ability to practice as a doctor if they could just get through the final approval process and accreditation. They've done the exams, they're near the finish line, but they're out there driving a taxi or an Uber or working in other jobs that aren't the profession they were signed on for. So I think, David Eby and this government, the NDP government, have really mismanaged or haven't figured out a way to get these people that are accredited doctors and went through schooling in their own countries and get them into our system. They've come here to assimilate into the country, to put back into the country, and this should be an easy task. It's just another layer of bureaucracy or over risk management. We need to get people out in the emergency rooms, and I think there's a way to get all these emergency rooms that have been closed open again. If we could just tap into this resource, and it'll take a leader to sit down, and it shouldn't take too long to figure out how to do it. I know there may be some fraud in there, but there's a vehicle to figure it out and get it across the line and get doctors into the emergency rooms and into the hospitals to take care of the people that live in this province.
Warren, that's very true, that if you just talk about the emergency rooms, but still the wait time is another issue in the hospitals. What about that one?
Well, wait times in hospitals, certainly to get surgery. I got a new hip about 3.5 weeks ago, and my hip's been requiring replacement for 4 years. So I wasn't on a waiting list for that whole time, but it was a long length of time to get in to get a hip change. I think, again, if you don't have the resources and if you're doing things in the hospital, like I know here down on the Lower East Side in our downtown hospitals, they're dealing with a lot of people that are coming in from the streets, and they're not managing that very well. We've got a homeless, mental health and drug problem downtown that's leaking into the hospitals. Certainly down here in Vancouver, I've witnessed it firsthand when I took a friend into the hospital to get something done, and we just got to look at the efficiency, how we handle it, and make some hard decisions to make sure that we can increase patient care and reduce the wait times.
As a candidate for BC Conservative leadership, what would be your promises to the whole community today who are just watching us, and what are your views?
Well, the property transfer tax is important. Also want to look at the property tax, and I mentioned it tonight, where if it's your primary residence and let's say the value of your home doubles, that your property tax won't double. There'll be a maximum they can charge each year. So I think those two are tied together. I think we need to talk about the tunnel and the bridge that goes into South Surrey for that, because that's affecting a lot of people. And yes, it costs a lot of money to complete that project, but we've got to get at it. It's been in the books for a long time. It's gone tunnel, bridge, and we've pissed away a lot of money, frankly, and we need to get it done. So we need a builder, not a bureaucrat. That's what I am. I'll come from the community of builders, and we'll get these projects finished and hopefully improve the lives one step at a time for everybody that lives here in the Lower Mainland and in Northern British Columbia in the interior.
That's a really good one. You always say, like, I'm a builder, not a bureaucrat. That's a really important one. We need a leader like you. And thank you so much for your time and your views, the views you just shared with us. Whole TV, thank you so much for talking to Sanjha TV.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys for listening. Appreciate it. Get out there and vote. You get to choose the leader, not me.
Thank you, Warren Hamm. Wish you all the very best for the future.
Thank you so much.
Here with us, David Parker, who want to share some views about today's night. Hello, David. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you.
What about today's night? What are your views about this?
Oh, it was a great honor to come here. I live in Ontario. Well, I'm kind of bi-coastal because I have property and business interests here in BC, but I live in Ontario. And I've known Warren Hamm for 25 years. In fact, I was just joking with him today. This is our anniversary. I should probably take him to Hawaii. But I've known Warren for a long time. We became friends early. I met his wife. I met his kids. He knows my wife, my kids. And when he decided he wanted to get into politics, I said, "Are you ready for this?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm ready." I said, "You're built for it."
Yeah.
And he is built for it.
He always say, "I'm a builder, not a bureaucrat."
Absolutely. And I think he's a guy that's going to be able to make a lot of positive change. And it's going to be painful, but we can get there.
You talked about a property buyer, and he promised some of the things, that the tax which he gonna be reducing in the future time if he'll be chosen as a leadership.
It's so important. I think it's great. I just heard about it recently and found out the platform ideas, and that makes a ton of sense. And I said that's going to be really good for families and very positive as we move forward. Absolutely.
That's really true. And he just talked about the healthcare as well, the nurses and the doctors, which is a major thing to be noted, because the wait time, the emergency rooms, that all needed to be taken care of, which Warren Hamm talked about today.
I think so too. And his analogy of what he talked about, there's so many doctors here that are available to us that are not working in the field because of bureaucracy, and they're being slowed down. We need to clear that out. We need to get those people into positions where they can be benefiting to the community, and we'll all be better for it.
When we are always in the public, we usually listen people that are well qualified people are using Ubers, taxis, and many other jobs as a server or something. That we need that people at the right places.
Yes, absolutely. If someone comes to this country, that's great. If they've got great education and they're qualified to be a doctor or a nurse or a lawyer or a brain surgeon, they should be allowed to do that.
That's true. Any message to all the viewers tonight?
Vote Warren Hamm.
Thank you so much for sharing your words and views with Sanjha TV and giving us the time.
So much. Thank you.
Here with us, Guneet Walia. Let's have a talk with them. Hello, Guneet. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. How was the evening tonight?
Evening is quite crazy right now because we're hearing of everything about the new ideas and everything for the hosting of the new candidate. So we are looking forward that we want a candidate which can bring BC to a particular stage into the world, and where we can deal with a lot of ideas with India, with another communities over there back, because he also told that we won't be stopping up immigration, right?
We really need a best leader right now for BC. If we just talk about whether it's a healthcare, whether it's a job, or something like that. Any views from your side, ma'am?
No, today when we talk, this is the first time that I've been attending such an event. So whatever he went through, the topics he brought up was really great. right? That things are really in like considerate. These things are especially to talk about the the immigration part, the part that we are lacking of behind for the like doctors are driving cabs. Like we have the talent, but we are not putting it into the right direction, right? So we have that. We should like leader like him. I really liked what he talked about today. So we really need a leader like him to give us the right direction and get BC to some good stage, right?
Will you really vote for the Warren Hamm?
For sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
We're gonna vote for him because, as he told, like means we have a lot of mining stuffs over here in BC, right, which is shut down right now. So that's what I was discussing with Raj before. So in India, especially for the mining, for the oil rigs and for the grass rigs, the fracking where is used. So there's a product which comes specially from India. It's only exported from India. That's 80%. So that we have to figure it out. Like means if Canada and India is going to the FTA deal by December, maybe that can be put into the basket and we can come along with that also.
Yeah, that's true. All the points which you both highlighted that are the major one. And thank you so much for talking to Sanjha TV and giving us time.
We really appreciate your answers also. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sanjha TV. Thank you so much.
Darmak with us tonight, and let's have a talk. Hi, Darmak. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
What about tonight?
Well, I'm happy to see people get involved in politics that are not bureaucrats and politicians. Like his slogan, he's a builder, not a bureaucrat. And I love that.
That's really true. Warren always says, I'm a builder, not a bureaucrat. That's a major one.
Yeah, some common sense coming back into politics, which is long overdue.
We really need a leader like him. If we just talk about the Conservative Party, we really need him in the future times as a BC leader.
I agree. Too many politicians with their priorities for special interest group, but not the entire society. And we need someone to take care of everybody in our society, not just little pet projects and stuff. A lot of cleanup that needs to be done. There's been a lot of waste over the years, so I'm hoping he gets the leadership and then can maybe change the course of this province.
Any message to the viewers?
Get out and vote for the right person.
That's true. That's Warren Hamm. Thank you so much for having words with us.
Thank you for talking to me. Cheers.
He's the campaign manager for BC Conservatives. Let's welcome them. Welcome to Sanjha TV.
Hi, my name is Chastity Bentham. So actually, I'm not a campaign manager by trade. Warren and I were having a business meeting back in October, and he said to me, what do you think if I actually ran as MLA? And I thought to myself, you know what, the stuff you're telling me, what you believe in, it can actually make a change in British Columbia. I said, I'd vote for you. I'd stand behind you. And I leaned across the table to him and I said, let's do this, Warren. Let's do this. And it was only a month later that John Rustad resigned, and here we are today. Never were we thinking that the jump would go for running from MLA to leader of the party, but I think he has what it takes to do this job.
What were the major highlights of today's evening if we just talk about BC Conservative leadership candidate?
In general, everybody wants the same thing. We need to make changes within our province. We need to get the economy building. We need to slow down the tax base. We need to make changes and reduce property transfer tax between families. We need to repeal SOGI, and our idea is to implement a program called SMART, where we're doing social media awareness training. So we're teaching kids from a young age how to use social media, what these things mean, how to include others, and how to stop bullying.
Warren Hamm always says one thing: he's a builder, not a bureaucrat, and that's really the good one, as the true as well. And the major highlights which he did about the, if we just talk about whether it's healthcare, nurses, or whether it's property taxes, everything needs. We need a leader like him, and I would say everyone to vote for him.
Exactly. We need a leader who's willing to make change, and we need someone who's willing to step up, who's not afraid to get disliked in the media, because we can't make everybody happy. We need to really make a difference, and we need to step up and make these changes, and we need to be progressive. Otherwise, we won't have a province. There's thousands of people in our province that are more than capable to do jobs, and they're stuck driving taxis, cleaning houses, working at Tim Hortons, or driving Uber. Why? These are qualified individuals, whether it be as nurses, doctors, engineers. Why are they not doing the jobs that they're capable of?
That's really true, and I know you gave a lot of messages, but still we need one more message to all the viewers watching tonight.
So what I'd ask you to do is, if you're not already a member of the BC Conservative Party, to sign up, because it's only members who can vote in this election. Right now there's only 13,000 members. I'd ask for you to take a look at Warren's website or his social media, hear what he has to say, and really think about what you're doing. The other politicians that are in the race, they've already been there. They've made the mistakes. Let's choose someone who's different. Let's choose someone who can make a change. It's time for a builder. It's time for no more recycled politicians.
Thank you so much for the wonderful message and sharing your time with Sanjha TV. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Here we are with the family of Warren Hamm. Let's introduce them. Welcome to Sanjha TV.
I'm Karen Hamm. I've been married to Warren Hamm for 34 years. He's a very hard-working family man, but he will work very hard for this province. He never gives up.
You felt today like people from so many areas came and joined you guys on the first day where he announces many things. How you felt? Were you happy just seeing the people who just follow Warren Hamm?
Yes, I think he did a very good job tonight, and his message should resonate with all the people.
He just highlighted the major part which we really need the changes in BC if we just talk about healthcare, and I think we need a leader like him.
We need a leader, yes. Get out there and vote. Vote for Warren Hamm.
Definitely, and
Yes.
because
Vote builders, not bureaucrats.
just
Vote for Warren.
That's right. Thank you so much for sharing your views at Sanjha TV with all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Thank you all.
This was all about the special event. If you just talk about Warren Hamm, who just shared many views about what's to do in the future time with the healthcare, what's to do with the property taxes. Really, if you need changes, vote for Warren Hamm. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਬਦਲਾਅ ਦੀ ਮੰਗ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਜੇ ਬਦਲਾਅ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ BC ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਵਾਰਨ ਹੈਮ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ BC ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੀ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਲਈ ਇੱਕ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਵਜੋਂ ਰਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਬਦਲਾਅ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਆਹ ਬਦਲਾਅ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ। ਸੋ ਉਮੀਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਵਾਰਨ ਹੈਮ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪੂਰੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਈ, ਉਹ ਚੰਗੀ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ। ਸਾਂਝਾ TV ਦੇਖਣ ਲਈ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।